everybody, and welcome to Module 1 of your philosophy class. Our first chapter, called Philosophy and You, begins to examine exactly what philosophy is. Many of you may not have been introduced to philosophy before, and so it's going to give us a grounding in the basics of philosophy. The word philosophy means love of wisdom. And so we're going to be investigating wisdom and how to become more wise in a variety of ways throughout the course. So our first chapter is going to dive right into this quest for understanding that we're all on. We're all searching to answer some of the big questions, like the meaning of life. Does God exist? Do we have free will, or is everything predetermined? So these are sort of the big questions that we'll be asking ourselves throughout the course. When we move through the course, we're going to be taking a look at different theories, both practical and theoretical, and different ways of studying philosophy. So philosophers are just like you and I. The only difference is that they've had some time to sit around and ruminate or think about these things for quite some time and to reason them through. So in this first chapter, we're going to talk a lot about how to think well, what good reasoning is, what good critical thinking is, how to make a good argument, how to identify good arguments, and we'll delve into a little bit of logic. So when we get to the logic piece, towards the thinking philosophical part of the chapter, you'll be able to identify some of the logical arguments called modus ponens, modus tollens, affirming the consequent, affirming the antecedent. And those things probably sound really foreign to you right now, but we're going to walk through the various arguments and you'll have a chance to get an understanding of how these arguments work, what some of the common fallacies are that we use in our everyday lives, how we deduct things or come to conclusions and decisions about our own lives. And one key philosopher that really can help us understand these things is Socrates. I'm sure most of you have heard Socrates before. He's a very famous ancient Greek philosopher. So we'll touch a bit on ancient Greek philosophy. And Socrates did not write anything down. So Plato was his muse. Plato was his student and wrote down Socrates' ideas in a series of dialogues and in also a longer piece called Plato's Republic. And I'll go ahead and post some links for those if you'd like to take a look at some of those works outside of the class. Of course, that's completely optional. But what we're going to come to understand in chapter 1 is why Socrates declared that the unexamined life is not worth living. And we're going to talk about the Socratic method for understanding. The Socratic method is a method of questioning and using questioning to dive further and further into a topic or a subject and pick it apart until we can no longer, get to the, we want to get to that bottom. We want to peel away as many layers of the onion as we can to really get to the very foundation of each idea that we'll talk about in class. So you'll find some fun self-assessments. You'll probably have a little trouble with the reading. Don't worry, reading philosophy can be rather challenging. Read through it again if you have some trouble, and of course, always feel free to ask me questions. So that's essentially what we're going to be taking a look at in our first chapter, Philosophy and You. And I can't wait to get started on this journey together.